I don't think people fully understand, or maybe they forgot because we have short-term memories about 2008, right? How did 2008 happen? When, if you're not familiar, if you're too young, that's when the financial crisis hit. We had the worst recession since the Great Depression.
Yep.
Stock market was down like 40%. The housing market crashed. Everything just fell apart. It's like a perfect storm. And then the big banks had to get bailed out.
Of course.
So, but this all started because it was in England. It was a trading block in England, right? That was doing prime mortgages, subprime mortgages.
No, it was U.S. It was in England. Yeah, that was England. It was U.S. So, the investment bank is split in between a couple different divisions. So there's an investment bank that kind of helps people go public, like IPO and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the capital market side, which was I was in, and you split that between fixed income and equities. Equity just means stock. Mm-hmm. So my side was doing stock, but the other side is where they focus on bonds, mortgages, a bunch of other things. And so the way that mortgages happen, if I go get a mortgage from like Bank of America or something like that, or a local credit union, they give me a mortgage, and then now they're basically a creditor to me, right? And they take that, but they take like 1,000 of me, and they put the mortgages together. Then they go to Lehman Brothers or some other bank, and they're like, yo, package this together and sell it for me. And so what Lehman Brothers does is they give you the upfront money. Let's say I'll give you a mortgage for a house that's like $200,000 or whatever. And over time, people pay interest and stuff like that. Maybe I don't want to wait 30 years to get my money back. I'll go to Lehman Brothers. I was like, you know what? This $200,000 mortgage, I'll sell it to you for like $210,000. And by the way, I got 100 of those. Put it all together, and then what Lehman Brothers does, or all the investment banks, they take it, put it together, they chop it up, and they sell it to different people, right? But if the mortgage, but the way that they price it is the risk, right? So there's people that put 5% in their homes. There's people got 520 credit scores. Some people have 700 credit scores. Those things, the market says, you know what? I'll pay you a premium for the good credit people. I'll pay you a discount for the bad credit people. But if the people in the middle are not communicating straight what the underlying assets are, right? Or what was happening at the time, you had a real estate market where that was going up for so long, so that people with like 500, 600 credit scores and making only $50K a year,
stated income,
right? We're getting houses that were like $500,000. Right?
We not to cut you up, but we covered stated income, but we didn't really talk about stated income. So people might not know what stated income is. Stated income was a policy in the mid-2000s where you can state your income. So if anybody is familiar with the process to get a mortgage, you got to jump through hula hoops to get a mortgage, right? Yeah. You got to like bring your tax documents for the last 2 years, and you got to bring all kinds of stuff. They got to check your credit and all that. But in the mid-2000s, it was you just walk into the bank and you state your income, and whatever you stated your income, that's what they said.
Yeah, so you could say I made $150,000.
You could say I made $500,000.
$500,000, right.
You can be a gardener and make $15 an hour and go into a bank and say I make $500,000 a year. They take your word for it, and they give you a mortgage
based on
for $1 million home. And people was doing that. It was crazy.
Yeah, 100%. And the only reason people were doing that is because they didn't have to hold the bag, right? Like they were like, all right, because if you're a bank and I give you, I mean, just think about anybody. If I give, that person, my homeboy, a loan, and I know he doesn't have a job, know he can't pay me back, but I have to wait for that person to pay me back, I'm not gonna probably give my homeboy a loan, right? But if I knew I could take my homeboy's loan and pass it to somebody else, and they are on the hook for it, and they got to worry about collecting from him,
somebody left holding the bag.
Right? So that's what happened. Because of the capital markets, you were able to do that super efficiently, and that worked for a few years because all the real estate prices were going up and up, right? Because even if I have a loan against a house and the person can't pay and the house goes up, I'm good. So I'm okay with that, right? Or that person is okay because they're more likely to pay me. But until that stops, it's like musical chairs, right? So anyway, Lehman Brothers was a leader in that. Basically, they took those packaged mortgages and sold them out. But what happened was, it's good when you could just pass them out, but then when you can't liquidate them as quickly, and then now you hold them in the bag, and then real estate prices go down, then people default, they're not paying their mortgages. The houses that are behind the mortgages are not as valuable, right? It becomes this cycle. And then now Lehman Brothers has bad credit on their books from the people they give credit to. Then people don't want to give Lehman Brothers credit, right? Then the stock market, it's like, yo, I heard Lehman Brothers can't get credit. Then it becomes this spiral.
Trickle-down effect.
And then Lehman Brothers has a transaction with Bear Stearns, and Bear Stearns has a transaction with JP Morgan. Now people are like, oh, actually, I know you, Lehman Brothers can't pay their money, and I know Lehman Brothers owes you, so now you screw too, and now I'm not going to buy your stock, and then everything kind of just went in a cycle.
So that
you know what it sounds like, to cut you off. You know what it sounds like? So it's almost a Ponzi scheme, right? And if you understand how Ponzi schemes work, you only really get screwed in a Ponzi scheme when things go bad. It's not a lot of people make money in a Ponzi scheme, like Bernie Madoff, right?
Right.
If you invested early with Bernie Madoff, you made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right? Because the thing about it is he's taking new money and he's paying the old investors, and then he's just kind of repeating the process, right? It only goes bad when people ask for their money back in bulk. They don't have enough to cover it.
Right.
But as long as nobody really asks for their money in bulk, you can keep that thing going. He kept the scam going for 30 years because nobody really asked for anything. You're giving people 12% a year. Why would you ask for your money back?
Until a recession happens.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's all good when you hedge these kind of bets until it's not all good anymore. It's all good till it's not.
Exactly.
That's life.
It's all good till it's not.
It's all good.
So how quickly did these guys go under? Like how? Cause that happened like in a couple of months, right? Like,
well, it happened in a couple of months, but like I guess 07. 07. So 07 is when things got a little bit hairy. But then like things stabilized, and in early 08. So Bear Stearns was the first one to go down. So Bear Stearns went down probably like the first quarter of 08. Lehman Brothers was, the stock just started going down. So stock probably was trading in the 120, 140s. And like throughout the year, just kind of kept going down. And I don't know if you guys covered this on your podcast previously, but basically there's these people that called short sellers. You could basically bet that the stock's going down.
We haven't covered that. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so basically short selling is like, it's weird, but basically what you do is you say, all right, I think this company sucks. I think this stock's going to go down. I'm going to go to my broker or to a bank and say, let me borrow that stock. I'm going to sell it, and then I'm going to buy it back later on at a lower price. So if the stock is at 50 and you know the company is not making money, or you think the company's not making money, you say, all right, I'm going to buy it back later. I might buy it back at 25. I sold it at 50, bought it back at 25. That's $25 profit, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's actually reversed, because obviously usually what you do is you buy then you sell. In this case, you sell then you buy. And the way you're able to do it is because these firms will take other people's assets, like other people's stock, and lend it to you. It's similar to how people take people's savings account and use those as loans, right? And the question is like, why would a bank do that? You actually pay an interest rate on that money while you have it short.
Yeah, because that's The Big Short. You ever read that book?
Yep.
Big Short.
Yeah, movie too.
That movie's powerful, and that's what these guys did. They made a bunch of money, a boatload of money from shorting.
Yep, they were shorting. They're shorting those mortgage assets.
Yeah, they predicted that this would happen.
Yeah, exactly.
And you went to Wharton School of Business, right?
That's right. I did that after that. Yeah.
So Wharton,
that comes because of what happens at Lehman.
Yeah, so I go to Lehman, and at the time I thought I had it made. I was gonna be working in that place till I was older, stacking bread and maybe investing on the side. But like I thought I had my career made. But as that was happening, I was seeing what's going on. The thing about trading particularly, you really don't like your skill set is your skill set. You can't take it anywhere else, right? If I traded that one thing, I can't even go and trade bonds after that. Like the only jobs I could get was at another bank doing the same exact thing. Guess what? None of them were hiring. And like I said, I went to CUNY Brew College, and it was a great school, great education for the money. But I felt like that was a time where I really needed a network, and also I needed to kind of think about where I want to take my career. I wanted to do something a little bit more. I had more control over it. And I decided to apply to business school, and I ended up getting into Wharton. Yeah, and went there. Yeah.
You're the third person who's come from
Wharton Business School. You're the third person that's come from Wharton that's been on the podcast. Shout out to Brandon Copeland.
Yep, Derek Ferguson.
Yeah, those are all both great episodes.
Good alumni.
So you got a lot of pressure to live up to.
All right.
But so Wharton, if anybody's not familiar, is one of the best, if not the best, business school in the world, not just the country, the world. So we have our third Wharton alumni here, and he just gave you a very good breakdown of very complex trading. So you just got an Ivy League education in 20 minutes.
UIL University.
Yeah. Once again, we provided free education for you guys. So